Are we going to
Should
talk
get to
about
news. Well, since we
gaming
were talking
news?
about Soulstorm, should we just start off with
PS
PS Plus games
Plus.
for April?
Shing.
So, as we alluded to, PS Plus games for April come out on April 6th, which will be Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And it includes two PS4 games and one PS5, so I was correct. So Oddworld Soulstorm is only free on PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the game is coming out to PS4, you will not be able to claim it on PS4.
You can claim it though and play it on your PS5 when you get it, I think.
Can you claim PS5 games off PS4? I don't think you can.
No, but surely you can do it through the browser.
I'm not certain, so I'm not going to say for sure. It
I'll I'll,
sounds like
I'll
something.
ask my
I
brother to check because he's PS Plus and he doesn't have a PS5.
Okay, yeah, get him to check because then I would recommend doing that, I
Yeah.
guess. Um, then on PS4 we've got Days Gone, which a lot of people like. I don't like. You didn't really like it.
It was okay.
At least
It
it'll
was
be
just
patched now, so
fine.
it won't run like absolute garbage in spots.
Look, I
So
would be curious to revisit it purely from the fact that like it ran fine on PS4, right? But I'd like to see what it runs on a PS5 with those big hordes chasing you. Like I imagine it must be quite a different experience, somewhat. Maybe
I do
not.
like I do like that Darren in the was it Darren? Yeah, Darren in the article says Days Gone is an underrated sandbox of terror, and then links to my review, which is a 5 out of 10. So
Let's have a
not
look
sure
here.
about that one so much.
Amazing.
Oh no, wait, I gave it 6.5 out of 10. I thought I gave it 5. I should
You
have given
you
it.
you gave it 5, and Darren's like, nah, fam. We're gonna pump those numbers. Or was it Jeff? Was this in Jeff's day? Days
Oh
gone,
yeah, I don't
yeah.
know.
Look, I think I
Um,
can see why people enjoy it, but I found it very, very, very lukewarm and stretched out.
yeah,
Which
I find it incredibly stretched out. I
like
find it
when the
incredibly
game should have
boring.
ended, it added like another 15, 20 hours. I was like, no, why
Yeah,
are you doing
it
this?
it should have been half as long, and no, it was just too much, and not enough. Like I found it surprising that it was as divisive as it was because I really
Mm,
thought it was, especially coming from Sony.
yeah,
We've had fantastic games from them, and that was very clearly below the bar they had set for
yeah.
themselves. So yeah, I just find it odd that there's this like resurgence of people going, "It's great." No,
Like, have you
whatever.
played the game? Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but
Um,
you're getting it for
it
free on
Yeah, it's
PS4.
out on
So,
PS4. I mean, if you have a PS5 and you've got PS Plus, it's already part of that the PlayStation or the PS Plus collection, so you've
mhm.
already had access to it. So yeah, not winning on that front if you're on PS5. The other game out is Zombie Army 4: Dead War. Now, I'm not super familiar with the series.
But there are four
Zombie
of them.
is Zombie yeah, apparently. Is Zombie Army sort of like Left 4 Dead, I assume?
I have no idea. Let's look it
Let's
up.
see.
Zombie
Let's see. Okay,
Army
so we've got a
for
review from
Dead
Darren.
War. Nice.
Da.
Let's see. Yeah.
Okay.
But first, I need to get rid of. I need to get a YouTube Premium so I can stop getting these ads.
It's a sequel which pinches influence and inspiration from not only developer Rebellion's past, but has fine-tuned those mechanics into a lean, mean Nazi zombie killing machine.
Okay.
I'm trying to find out what the game is like though.
I just want to live.
Oh, much like Sniper Elite, players are able to pick the dead off from a distance and briefly slow down time to line up perfect headshots, while more up close and personal business can be settled with melee attacks, shotguns, pistols, and other assorted special weapons hidden around levels. Rack up a decent combo, and you're able to make use of special attacks to further thin the zombie army, augmenting your weapons with upgrade kits that bestow bonuses to their firepower.
Is this made
Okay,
by the same people that made Sniper Elite?
I think so.
Because it looks
It's
very
Rebellion.
similar, yeah.
Yeah.
And is it set during World War Two?
Well,
Or like
it's like Nazi zombies, so
okay,
I
so I'm
assume so.
guessing, yeah. Okay. Well, that's your free game for, well,
Yeah,
one
I
of your
mean,
free games for.
as a free game, I will definitely try that.
Mhm.
Looks like fun. There is a picture in this review of a zombie shark, so I'm into it.
Nice.
So that's PS Plus.
Oh, and so just
ex-
I don't know if
mm,
we stressed enough. Oddworld Soulstorm is as you know, in game releases, it's coming out
yeah.
on 6th of
So that's
April, and it's
that's the second month in a row they've released a new
a
game
new
as
game
part of
on
PS
PS
Plus.
Plus. Yes, that's quite a big deal, I think.
Yeah, because I think this month was Maquette, and actually the month prior, February, it was Destruction All Stars.
Yeah,
Yeah, so PlayStation on a roll with new
new
releases as part of.
releases.
I
Yeah,
mean, if they can't compete with Game Pass,
Game
that's
Pass.
one way to kind of bridge the gap.
It's
Because,
like
like,
yeah, it's like a middle ground.
yeah, I feel like Microsoft is really focusing on Games Pass as opposed to Games with Gold. Because holy
Well,
shit,
do you
Games
want
with
to
Gold
shall we get
continues being
to games
garbage.
with gold? Let's go. So
Yeah,
it's
so Games with Gold. I mean, at this point, if you subscribe to Xbox Gold and not Games Pass, I'm like really confused.
yeah.
What you're doing. But if you are, these are the 4 games that you're getting this month. You're getting Vikings, Wolves of Midgar. Okay.
Mhm.
You're getting Truck Racing Championship.
Mhm.
Okay. And then on the Xbox 360 side, backwards compatibility, of course, you've got Dark Void.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. And Hard Corps Uprising. So
Nice.
nothing really
Um,
gangbusters there, I would say.
no, it's
Have you?
actually it's funny though because it's almost like so obviously Ultimate encapsulates like everything from Xbox Live Gold to Xbox Game Pass. It's like, are
Yeah.
they making games with gold intentionally that bad to encourage people to move over? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a
I
very
mean,
subpar offering compared to what PS offered.
I
And
mean,
last month wasn't any better. Just I don't know if you
no, not
remember.
at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you compare it with like, oh, Game Pass got Outriders
Mm.
on on day one, like, why are you not subscribed to Game Pass? Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
just
it's a weird thing because it's like the Xbox equivalent of what Sony did with Soulstorm is like your games with gold this month includes Outriders. Like that
mm,
would be the
mm.
equivalent, but it's on Game Pass, which is still obviously a big deal. But I don't know. It feels like games with gold is like a thing that just exists now, but it's
Yeah,
definitely not the focus. Well, which with good reason, I suppose. I mean, Game Pass is where all the money's going to. All the games with gold budget went to Outriders, if we're being
yeah,
honest.
definitely. They definitely used all of their Game Pass money uh on that.
Yeah,
All their gold money on
yeah.
that. So.
Mula Mula. What news do you
So
want
yeah.
to get to? Which
Let's maybe, since we were talking about Monster Hunter, we can just quickly touch on the fact that its first week from a sales perspective has been really
there's a
good.
lot. Yeah.
Capcom revealed that it managed to ship, which doesn't necessarily mean sold through, but shipped 4 million copies in a single week. I think the biggest point here is that Monster Hunter World shipped 5 million within the same
Mm,
period, but that released on 2 consoles, not one.
yeah.
So Rise, I mean, predictably doing very well.
Mm,
I mean, it's come out for arguably one of the most popular consoles in the world at the moment, and it's like a franchise that found its footing on a portable platform back
yeah.
in the day with
And it reviewed well,
PSP.
and it's real good.
Yeah.
So I
So
that number's gonna climb, I
yeah,
imagine, by a couple mil as the year goes
I
on.
think it's going to be a big one for this
Yeah.
year. This is going to
Mm,
hit hard.
yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
Which one do you want to go for?
Shall we cover E3, I guess? Why not?
Yeah,
Some scandal
yeah.
slash scandal from last night or yesterday.
So yeah, last night, who was it? Andy Robinson, who is the editor in chief of Video Games Chronicle. He tweeted out a scoop saying that they had seen documents that were sent to publishers as part of E3's planning, and as part of that, there was a proposal from the ESA, who runs E3, for portions of the now confirmed to be all digital event um, to be behind a paywall, which seems like the dumbest idea,
Which is
like
just
fucking
crazy.
ever. Like,
Really
according to the
crazy.
report, there was going to be a $35 premium pass, which the ESA was trying to work with NVIDIA to make game demos available for streaming. So that would give you access
All of that.
reports that were saying that the ESA wanted like six-figure sums for publishers to show their games as part of this digital conference, a digital conference that they've never run before. So it's a
Yeah.
completely new idea for them. Now they want, you know, these companies to come up with demos that now need to be compatible with streaming, and then the ESA is going to charge people for the privilege to play that. Like, come on,
Yeah,
E3 is struggling as it is. Like, this is a
yeah,
real
don't
fucking
push it.
swing in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, I mean, we've beaten this dead horse a lot. So it's a thing of like, why would you come to E3 if you're an Xbox or Square Enix or Sony when you're big enough to just do your own YouTube live stream and it'll get just as much as attention as you would at E3, probably more than you would get at E3 because E3 the headlines are split between whatever's big on that moment, whatever. I don't know. It's a weird thing, and I don't know how it's gonna play out. It's like I think the trend was that we've seen E3's been in sort of a decline over the past few years, regardless. And with COVID now, it's like I don't know what they're going to do. Like I get the digital showcase, but I don't know how many people will pay that premium to be there. Like even just to have your have a virtual stand, however they're going to do it.
Yeah. No, I really don't know because they seem to not even know how to run, a physical event that they'd been running for decades prior
My
anymore.
God.
So, yeah. So essentially, the report came out, and then E3 Twitter account got real spicy, which is really funny considering, the ESA getting spicy at journalists when 2 years ago they doxed journalists, like, seems like a real
Yeah,
fucking
it's
crappy
weird.
thing to do. But anyway, they said their tweet reads, E3's 2021 digital show is a free event for all attendees. We're excited to fill you in on all the real news for the event very soon.
It's just
Which
spicy.
obviously it like forced a response from VGC saying, look at the fucking evidence we have. Like this was definitely pitched. Whether you decided against it or not,
it's still
is
there.
a different
Yeah,
story.
my goodness.
So yeah. So it seems like the paywall idea is not going forward, but as part of the report, a lot of publishers that spoke to Video Games Chronicle were basically saying that they are planning to support the event because they think the ESA is important, but that they were keeping big reveals for their own personal events that they would run. And obviously, at this point, why the fuck wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, why would you trust the ESA for your big reveals when you can just make sure you can do it yourself? So
I don't know.
honestly, this could be the last E3.
Yeah.
It pains me because I loved attending it in person. But I think they got off lightly last year. The pandemic was like a perfect storm for them, and this year is like an all or nothing. So,
good Lord.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Jeff Keighley had a good time saying that Summer Games Fest was free, which was quite funny.
Oh, Jeff Keighley. Okay, what do you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about Japan's bad opinions on Final Fantasy.
Wow. I mean, I am just as shocked as you are. So, according to Japan, Final Fantasy X is the best game in the series, which I find. So, look, I've played 10, great game, definitely one of the better Final Fantasies. I'd rank it up there, like as one of the best in Final Fantasy. But I find it interesting that it won out over like 7 and 9 and all these other ones that are, in my head at least, very iconic. But I guess it just goes to show that Final Fantasy is perceived differently in Japan, which makes sense because like the reason for me and others, well, the reason Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and 9 are so beloved by people like us is like that was just our first time playing those games. And obviously in Japan, because it's a Japanese franchise or the Japanese series, it's obviously just been there since day one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I find it interesting, regardless, though, that 10 is the I mean, so we've got the list here, right? Final Fantasy 10 is first, Final Fantasy 7 is second, Final Fantasy 6 is third, which I'm very happy to see.
Yeah, I know that's like considered one of your favorites.
Yeah,
between that and 9, hey?
And yeah, 9 is number 4. So yeah, I can't believe that Final Fantasy 5 which I think is arguably one of the weaker ones, is 6, higher than number 4, which I think is way
I
better.
can't believe 15 is only 10th.
It's 10th. See, it's interesting because 15's I enjoyed 15, but it was a different kind of Final Fantasy game. Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
very different. Yeah,
wouldn't say it's the strongest,
I'm
but
not surprised it's not in the top 5 or whatever. But well, then again, it's actually made the list as opposed to like 13, which isn't there at all. So
yeah, I think it's funny that it's below 11, which I'm like, was
yeah,
11 successful? Like it must have been, I guess, maybe in Japan.
yeah.
Like I don't know.
I mean, it's a
Um,
crime that 8 is here because 8 is just terrible.
how did 8 get to number 7? Is all I want to
How did
say.
8
You know,
end up on the list at
how
all?
did 8 get higher than 4? I don't believe it.
Then
But
there's
yeah,
also a list of characters, popular characters, which is basically just dominated by Final Fantasy VII characters.
yeah.
But there's a real
Oh, there's
crime
some.
happening here.
Oh no, what's the
So
crime?
so
Wow.
first is Cloud, second Yuna, third Eris or
Mm-hmm.
Aerith.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Why is Tifa
fourth
so
is
low? I can't believe
yeah,
that.
fourth is Vivi. 5 is Zidane,
Zidane,
who's
yep.
from 10, correct?
No,
Isn't it?
Vivian Zidane are from 9.
Oh, they're from 9.
Yeah.
Okay. 6 is Solosos
I have no idea who
Galvus.
that is from.
7 is Tidus. That's from 10,
That's from
surely.
10, yeah.
So the highest ranked Final Fantasy game, the only character on the list from there is 7th.
Yep.
Okay. 8 is Lightning for a game
Mhm.
that wasn't even listed in the top 10. 9
9
is
is
Tifa.
Tifa. Mhm.
10 is Zack, which also wasn't listed in the top 10. How the fuck is Cloud more popular than Zack?
I mean,
Please tell me.
why is Cloud number 1? Like, I think
Why is Cloud on this list?
I'm actually, is it a list of the favorite protagonists? I was going to say, because surely like Sephiroth and others would be up here.
Fucking garbage.
Do you know what?
Zack is so infinitely better than Cloud. Like,
He's
I'm
a
just
good
come right
character.
out and said. The only reason Cloud has some semblance of a personality in 7 is because of
because
Zack.
Zack existed, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a fact. You can fact check that even. But
Trying
yeah.
to move away from this news before I get more angry.
Mm,
Next, so we can talk about this rumor regarding Alan Wake 2.
yes.
So this comes via way of GamesBeat's Jeff Grubb, which, if we're going to be honest, has been a bit hit or miss with his inside scoops lately.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, take this with a pinch of salt, but know that a few years ago, Remedy Games was working on an Alan Wake 2, which eventually got scrapped as they moved over to Control. And as we all know, Control essentially exists within the same universe as Alan Wake. I mean, its final DLC directly ties it to Alan Wake.
I still got to play that DLC.
Yeah, I need to play it as well. But on Jeff Grubb's Game Mess podcast, he says that Grubb claims that Remedy has begun work on Alan Wake 2 and that it'll be the follow-up fans of the series want. That it's also being developed with Epic Games, so might be a PC exclusive at launch.
Interesting. Alan Wake was a game I played years after its initial release, and I loved the heck out of that game. It was real
so good.
Real good game.
I mean, I played Max Payne and enjoyed it enough, but Alan Wake was like the Remedy game in my head. Like, I love that game a lot. So yeah, very keen.
I'd be interested to see what it looks like after something like Control.
Yeah, because I mean, if you take Control's combat and Alan Wake's, they're two very different beasts in terms of pacing and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like almost combat was the secondary form of gameplay in Alan Wake. It wasn't really the focus.
Was more about getting around, piecing together stuff.
I will never forget how like on a thread that ending felt for me. Like, still,
I need to go
like
reread what happened, because I can't for the life of me remember, but I remember it was like, damn.
Yeah, it was like, wait, hold on, is that it? Like, surely there's more. Yeah.
Analog Pocket shipments being delayed. I don't know if you've shown interest in this device, but it's basically like a modern day Game Boy, as far as I know. But I know
that will play original Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance.
It's
Sega Game Gear games. Yeah.
yeah, it's a really nice looking device. If you had your eyes on one of these, it has just been delayed to
It's also
October.
sold out, so there's no
Yeah,
way you can
good
buy
luck.
one anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Analog has been doing for a while now a lot of products that do very good emulations of. Well,
Mm,
not it's actually not emulation; it's running the original games. So
yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, this thing was in high demand. It basically sold out uh, as soon as it went on sale.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's been delayed apparently because of the Suez Canal issue. So yeah.
Which I think that little boat parked in the canal is going to have some real long term ramifications, which we're only going to really see in the months to come.
Oh yeah,
So we all
yeah.
laughed at
That
the
thing
meme.
caused havoc.
It was hilarious, for the memes, but it's kind of shit on the effect it's going to have on a lot of things. Like I think who's I chatting? I think it was yesterday. My boss was saying that petrol's going up by like a huge amount next month, by like R1
Mm.
plus,
Mhm.
and that is a direct result of the whole canal incident.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it was like millions and millions of dollars lost every single hour just
yeah,
because of that blockage. Yeah. Um,
hectic.
but the memes are good.
The memes are so good.
The memes are good.
What
Um,
else?
Sony is definitely closing down its PS3, PSP, and PS Vita stores, as was earlier reported by The Gamer. There was a lot of scrutiny on their reporting, but they got it spot on.
Right. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think we touched on this last week, but at the time it was like, the rumor or the
Mm.
report, whatever, but it's now confirmed. But I
Confirmed.
suppose yeah, like Darren says, yeah, your purchased games remain safe. So you'll still be able to download
So for
stuff.
now, any purchases you've made, you'll still be able to download them.
Mm.
But from I'm just looking for the dates here. Oh,
Uh
there we go. Yeah, the PS3 and PSP stores will go offline July 2nd, and the PS Vita will follow on August
August
27th. So
27.
make sure you've got all your purchases um, and stuff done, done by then. I assume updates will still be a thing. If you can download the game, I'm sure games will still update.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, this is just one step closer to the up to downloads not being available eventually. Like,
Yeah, it's a problem because
will
like
happen.
I
Yeah.
have all three. And it's like, do I crack open my PS3 now and like download a bunch of stuff that I just want to keep on
Mm.
there? Do I rush out and grab a couple of memory cards for my Vita just to store some games that I might play one
God,
day?
you know how expensive those are gonna get because they're proprietary.
Yeah.
So like, if you wanna grab a 64 gig, Vita, I mean, 3 years ago, my Vita memory card died, and it took me ages to source a replacement, and even then, I paid a lot of money just for a 8 gigabyte
Yeah.
replacement.
I do need to download
So
Persona 4.
yeah. I should get your, PSV back to you then because I still have it with a
Yeah, but
good
I don't
processable UMD in there.
but that's the UMD. It's fine. Don't need to worry
Physical
about that.
games, they'll
Winning.
persist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
But yeah, this kinda sucks. Like, I get it from a business sense. Maybe Sony's just not seeing any revenue from this, and they could not be asked about the preservation of it.
mm,
But it is interesting seeing that it's become such a talking point, especially this week where, Nintendo forcibly removed a game from sale, and PlayStation is shutting down old stores, whereas Xbox announced backwards compatibility coming to its cloud-based streaming platform. So it's like,
this is just
you know,
crazy.
everything is driven by revenue. I don't think Microsoft has an altruistic motive to preserve games,
Mm,
but at the same time, they are doing it.
yeah.
Like, they are actively looking for ways to continue letting you play original Xbox games on its most current hardware, while PlayStation and Nintendo are doing the
Just having
opposite.
a
So
good old YOLO.
whether or not Microsoft is, the motives don't really matter. The point is it's being done.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting that has become like a big talking point. I would have never have guessed that.
Yeah. Who knew? Um what shall we talk about quickly? Stalker 2
Uh,
has custom teeth.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really show much of the game at the indie showcase last week, but they showed off some tech that they are
And some
using in their
teeth.
engine that has allowed them to render like highly realistic teeth, which looks kind of creepy, but also kind of cool as well. Um, it's listen, I'm keen to play Stalker 2. I never got into the original because again, at the time, I just don't think my gaming brain was in that space because it's
Yeah.
very RPG-ish shooter type thing.
Mm.
But I'm keen to see what a new one is like, especially after I've played games like Metro, which I really love.
Especially with
Um,
teeth like this, am I right?
yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
um,
Um, so yeah,
and then last bit of news: No Man's Sky adds seasonal expeditions in a surprise update.
yeah, this game keeps going from strength to strength,
My
man. Like
goodness, yeah,
expeditions, I was reading up on it a bit yesterday. It's basically it's a new game mode. So you start a new adventure with it, and it's like these seasonal missions that they will continually add to and change that you and other players can collectively work towards for
yeah.
unique rewards based on each season. But the fact that it's a separate game mode, it's like if you want a more structured No Man's Sky experience, this seems like
This
the
is
way to go.
what you should play. Yeah,
Yeah. Very, very cool.
and
All
yeah,
free as well.
all
So yeah, that's
completely
out
free.
now.
And that is gaming
That is
news.
news.